You know, there's something about this time of life that feels a little different. Maybe you've noticed it too. The kids are grown, the house is quieter, and those retirement dreams you once had, well, they're finally here. But instead of feeling like you've stepped into the golden years you imagined, maybe you've found yourself wondering, what's next? It's a question I hear all the time from people in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. And if you're sitting there thinking, I'm not sure what my purpose is anymore, you're definitely not alone. Retirement can feel like a blank page in a book you've been writing your whole life. For decades, you've had roles to play: parent, professional, caregiver, and now, suddenly, there's no script. That freedom can be exciting, but let's be honest, it can also feel a little overwhelming. What do you do when the things that once defined you aren't part of your daily life anymore? How do you find meaning and joy in this new chapter? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. In this video, we'll explore 4 powerful questions that can help you uncover your purpose after retirement. These aren't just random questions. They're designed to guide you toward a deeper understanding of who you are now and what truly matters to you. By the end of this conversation, you'll have some practical steps to take, along with a renewed sense of direction. So grab a cup of coffee, tea, or whatever you enjoy most, and let's dive in. The first question might sound simple, but trust me, it's one of the most important ones you can ask yourself. What makes you feel alive? Think about it for a moment. When was the last time you felt truly energized? Not by caffeine or a good night's sleep, but by something that stirred your soul. Maybe it was gardening, painting, volunteering, or even teaching someone a new skill. Whatever it is, these moments give you a glimpse into what lights you up inside. Now here's the thing. As we get older, life has a way of steering us away from the things that bring us joy. Responsibilities pile up, routines take over, and before you know it, hobbies and passions get pushed to the back burner. Retirement is your chance to bring them back to the forefront. You don't have to pick up everything you used to love right away, but starting small can make a big difference. For example, I recently spoke with a woman named Margaret who hadn't painted in over 20 years because she was busy raising her family and working full-time. After retiring, she decided to sign up for an art class at her local community center. She told me that holding a paintbrush again made her feel like herself for the first time in years. It wasn't about being perfect. It was about reconnecting with something that brought her pure joy. So how do you figure out what makes you feel alive? Start by reflecting on your past. What activities or experiences have always brought you happiness? If you're drawing a blank, try experimenting. Pick up a hobby you've always been curious about. Take a walk in nature or volunteer for a cause you care about. Sometimes the only way to rediscover what excites you is to give yourself permission to explore. Once you've started identifying what brings you joy, it's time to move on to the second question. Who do you want to spend your time with? This one might seem straightforward, but relationships play a huge role in shaping our sense of purpose. Think about the people in your life right now. Are they lifting you up, or do they leave you feeling drained? As we age, it becomes even more important to surround ourselves with people who inspire us, support us, and share our values. For many retirees, this is a time to strengthen existing relationships or build new ones. Maybe you've lost touch with old friends and want to reconnect, or perhaps you're ready to meet new people who share your interests. Either way, don't underestimate the power of community. A few months ago, I met a man named George who joined a walking group in his neighborhood after retiring. At first, he was hesitant. He didn't know anyone, and he worried he wouldn't fit in. But within weeks, he'd formed friendships that turned into weekly game nights and weekend outings. He told me that those connections gave him a reason to get out of bed every morning, and it reminded him how much he enjoyed sharing laughter and stories with others. If you're wondering where to start, consider places like senior centers, libraries, churches, or clubs focused on activities you enjoy. Even online communities can be a great way to connect with like-minded individuals. The key is to put yourself out there, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Building meaningful relationships takes effort, but the rewards are worth it. Now that we've talked about what makes you feel alive and who you want to spend your time with, let's shift gears slightly. The next question digs even deeper into your identity and values, and it's one that can really transform the way you see your future. Let's keep going, shall we? The next question we're going to explore is one that might take a little more reflection, but it's absolutely worth the effort. Here it is. What legacy do you want to leave behind? Now, I know the word legacy can sound intimidating, like it's reserved for people who've achieved something monumental or changed the world in some big way. But let me tell you something, legacy isn't just about grand gestures or being remembered in history books. It's about the small, meaningful impacts you have on the people and places around you. Think about it this way. Every single day, you're leaving a mark on the world, whether you realize it or not. Maybe it's the kindness you show to a neighbor, the wisdom you share with your grandchildren, or even the care you put into tending your garden. These actions might seem ordinary to you, but they ripple outward in ways you may never fully see. Retirement gives you the unique opportunity to focus on what kind of impact you want to have and how you can align your daily life with those values. Let me share a story that really brought this idea home for me. A few years ago, I met a man named Harold who had spent decades working as a mechanic. After retiring, he felt a bit lost. He wasn't sure how his skills could matter anymore. But then he started volunteering at a local youth center, teaching kids how to fix bikes. Not only did he find joy in passing along his knowledge, but he also realized he was helping these young people gain confidence and practical skills they could use for the rest of their lives. Harold told me, "I used to think my work didn't mean much once I stopped fixing cars, but now I see that I'm still making a difference in a way that feels even more personal." So how do you figure out what kind of legacy you want to create? Start by asking yourself what matters most to you. Is it family, community, creativity, environmental stewardship? Once you identify those core values, think about how you can live them out in your everyday life. For example, if you value education, maybe you could mentor a younger person or volunteer at a library. If you care deeply about nature, perhaps you could get involved in conservation efforts or start composting at home. The possibilities are endless. It all comes down to finding ways to express what's important to you. And here's the beautiful part. Creating a legacy doesn't have to be a solo endeavor. In fact, involving others can make the process even more rewarding. Whether it's collaborating on a project with friends, joining forces with a community group, or simply sharing your passions with loved ones, working together amplifies the impact you can have. Plus, it adds another layer of connection and fulfillment to your life. Now let's move on to our fourth and final question. This one ties everything together and helps you bring clarity to the vision you're building for this next chapter of your life. Here it is. How do you want to feel every day? At first glance, this might seem like an unusual question. After all, shouldn't we focus on what we're doing rather than how we're feeling? But here's the truth. When you design your days around the emotions you want to experience, everything else falls into place. Think about it. How many times have you gone through the motions, ticking off tasks without stopping to ask yourself, does this actually make me happy? Retirement gives you the freedom to prioritize how you want to feel over what you feel obligated to do. Do you want to wake up feeling peaceful, energized, inspired, connected? Whatever it is, naming those feelings is the first step toward designing a life that supports them. For instance, imagine someone who wants to feel calm and centered each day. They might start practicing mindfulness or meditation, spend time in nature, or set aside quiet moments for journaling. On the other hand, if someone craves excitement and adventure, they might plan regular trips, try new hobbies, or join social groups where they can meet interesting people. There's no right or wrong answer. It's all about tuning into what resonates with you. I remember meeting a woman named Evelyn who decided to focus on feeling curious after retiring. She'd always been fascinated by different cultures, but never had the chance to explore that interest fully while working and raising her kids. So she signed up for language classes, attended cultural festivals, and even hosted international exchange students in her home. Every time I saw her, she'd light up talking about the new things she was learning and the connections she was making. By prioritizing curiosity, she transformed her retirement into a vibrant, ever-evolving journey. As you consider how you want to feel, remember that it's okay if your answers change over time. Life isn't static, and neither are we. What brings you joy today might shift tomorrow, and that's perfectly fine. The goal isn't perfection, it's alignment. When you actively choose activities and relationships that nurture the emotions you desire, you create a life that feels intentional and fulfilling. With these 4 questions, what makes you feel alive? Who do you want to spend your time with? What legacy do you want to leave behind? And how do you want to feel every day? You now have a roadmap for discovering your purpose in this exciting new phase of life. Each question builds on the last, guiding you toward a deeper understanding of yourself and what truly matters to you. And the best part? You don't have to figure it all out overnight. Purpose is something you uncover gradually, piece by piece, as you experiment, reflect, and grow. Now that we've explored these 4 transformative questions, let's take a moment to recap the key ideas in a way that feels natural, not repetitive. Finding your purpose after retirement isn't about having everything figured out from the start. It's about staying open to possibilities, embracing curiosity, and giving yourself permission to evolve. Whether it's rediscovering old passions, building deeper connections, contributing to your community, or designing your days around the emotions you want to experience, every step you take brings you closer to living a life that feels authentic and meaningful. One thing I want to emphasize is that purpose doesn't have to be tied to productivity or achievement. For so many years, we measure our worth by what we accomplish, our careers, our families, our responsibilities. But in retirement, you get to redefine success on your own terms. Maybe your purpose is simply to savor the beauty of each day, to laugh more, to love deeply, or to slow down and appreciate the little things. There's no rule book here. Your purpose is uniquely yours. If there's one takeaway I hope you hold on to, it's this. Small changes can make a big difference. You don't need to reinvent your entire life overnight. Start with one question, one action, one conversation. Plant seeds and trust that they'll grow over time. Remember Margaret, the woman who rediscovered painting? Or George, who found friendship through a walking group? Their stories remind us that even small steps can lead to profound transformations. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. Have any of these questions sparked an idea or inspired you to try something new? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one, and I'm always encouraged by the wisdom and experiences you bring to the table. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We're building a community here, and your support means the world to me. Finally, I want to leave you with this. Retirement isn't the end of the road. It's the beginning of a brand new adventure. You've earned this time to focus on yourself, to dream bigger, and to live fully. No matter where you are on your journey, there's always room to grow, to learn, and to find joy in the unexpected. Here's to living your best life at any age, and to discovering the incredible purpose that's waiting for you just around the corner. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.